start with our main agenda. There's just a few items that we'll need to move. There's items that we'll need to move around, but it's fine. So I'll start with the apologies. We've got an apology from Councillor Lishabani and another apology from Mr. Ashraf Adams. And then apologies for the Rock Department due to MECO RCF subcommittee. Please receive the following apologies from Rock Acting Group Head Putimoloto, RHP Sikati Region 6, and RHM Mabasa Region 1, RHJ Mukwena Region 5, and RHP Mokani Region 4, and RH Nguni Region 2 will arrive late for the MPEC meeting. And then we've also got some letters. Okay, so Mr. Ashraf, sorry colleagues, let me just confirm this apology. Okay, so that letter was just to say that Mr. Kumalo or Mr. Musa Kumalo will act on behalf of Ashraf Adams. Okay, so we can get started on our agenda. The first item there will be the minutes from our August meeting. Can we, CM?
Good morning, Chairperson. I will be stepping out at 10 o'clock and I'll be back at 11 o'clock. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot you did mention that to me, that you've been in and out of our meeting. Colleagues, so we've got the minutes from our August meeting. Can we move for the adoption of the minutes? Colleagues, I think there's one change that we need to make on the minutes that were sent to Secretariat. When you look at the recommendations, we need to change recommendation. We need to remove recommendation 2 because I think it conflicts with recommendation 5. And in the minutes, the recommendation on recovery. So when you look at the recommendation number 2, it says that MPEC should write off that amount, whereas it should, we had said that we should recover. So when you look at now, item 5 says we need to recover. We need to remove recommendation 2. Okay, I'll take the hand of Councillor Farquharson, followed by Councillor Jube.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, that is a recommendation for amendment that I fully support. Thank you.
And Councillor Jube? Okay, so that will be rectified. Can we move for the adoption of the minutes with those rectifications? Okay, adopted by Councillor Jube, seconded by Councillor Mabuse. Okay, colleagues, thank you. We will now move on to item 4. This is matters arising from our process plan for 2024-2025. I think that what I've noted on the process plan is that we are a little bit behind. We've got items that are outstanding. You will note that we have made changes. For items that are still coming up, we'll now refer to them as pending, and then those that are behind from the previous month will be logged in as outstanding. There are a few items that are outstanding since August from the various departments. So the departments that are here, please take note of that and make sure that we are able to catch up in our October meetings. We've agreed as a committee that we really don't want to be outstanding on any matter. We need to make sure that all reports serve on time. So, CM, we really need you to assist us to make sure that all the reports that are regarded as outstanding in the process plan are all brought to date in our October meetings. And if there are any challenges, the department should communicate timeously, or if there are instances where there's clarity that is required from us, please let them communicate to us timeously so that we can have that are resolved. Okay, thank you. Colleagues, can we adopt the process plan with those? Councillor Mabusela?
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. I don't have a problem with adopting the process plan, but I was just similarly to what we were saying. There are some of the reports that were dealt with, but still reflecting as outstanding, especially on those ones of the 2nd of August. So how do we move? Do we adopt the report as it is with some particular changes? Thank you.
Councillor Mabusela, can you indicate, I think to my knowledge, the one that was completed was on the 4th when we did the local inspection at the Metro Police Department. It's indicating as pending, I think, but it was done on the 4th as we were all part of it. Are there others that you are aware of that we need to input as complete?
Yeah, like the report that we did last week on the 2nd is service delivery and implementation. We dealt with them there, but they are still reflecting as outstanding. In fact, most of those that we dealt with them on the 2nd of August, if you can check our previous agenda, they were dealt with.
Okay, I think what will be maybe helpful to Secretariat is if you identify them. So I am on the process plan. Just identify those few that are done, then we can indicate them as done. Councillor Farquharson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just point, we've also got the process plan repeated in the first supplementary agenda. There were some dates that were corrected administratively. So if we can just go to make sure we're dealing with the first supplementary agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think what we will do is make sure that Secretariat does have them rectified and an updated one will be sent to the committee. The departments whose report are still outstanding, they will be notified through a letter from our office to let them know that these reports are still outstanding and that they are expected in our October meeting. Okay, thank you, colleagues. Now we will move on to our next item. Okay, so our next item is matters for consideration. Report number 1. This is from Group Financial Services Department, Local Government, Municipal Finance Management Act 2003, Act 56 of 2003, in-year financial report, monthly budget statement for the period ended 31 May 2024. This report is between page 5 and page 41. The recommendations are on page 41. As recommended, Councillor Randall.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick question in terms of the challenges that we still face with regards to the absence of an MSCOA system. If we can maybe just get an update in terms of that and when all the data streams, etc., will be in place according to MSCOA criteria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Randall. Councillor Bushkel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairperson. I've got few questions that I wanted clarity on. The report reflects that currently we are migrating from the SAP ECC6 system to the new SAP system called HANA system. And in the process resulted in gaps in the data. I just wanted to find out to what extent has this migration impacted on the quality of data that we have been using to generate the annual report and the annual financial statements. That's question number one. The other thing is that also the reports, there are various consumer debtors, and we know that household is the biggest debtor. But what I want to find out is that the commercials are owing the city about 4.8 million, and the organ of states is about over 600 million. I just wanted to find out from the finances, what is their plan in terms of getting money from the organ of states and also the commercial sector. And the other thing is that the city has embarked on various initiatives to try and improve or enhance the revenue collections. I just wanted to find out this, like for example, the Tshwane-Yatima, what impact did it have in terms of enhancing the revenue collections? The other things around also getting money from other various categories of consumer, like for example the embassies. I just wanted to find out how much money does the embassy owe to Tshwane, and how are we going to ensure that we get those money from the embassies. The other one is around household owing Tshwane, about 15 billion. I just wanted to find out how much of this debt is recoverable. As you know that in terms of the payments, about 9% are paying regularly. 9%, another 9% is what you call the cash payments. And the other 28% is the one that are paying, but they are always behind on 3 months, and the rest are the consumers that are not paying. I just wanted to find out those that from the household, how much money is recoverable. The other one that I have the issue on is on the financial recovery plan. If you look at that financial recovery plan, it's a very good document if implemented. My issue is that there is no commitment on the part of the officials to implement that financial recovery plan. Hence, you can see that that plan does not yield any positive result in terms of turning the city's finance into a liquidity status. We're still having a cash flow problem. But what I wanted to find out is that you are saying that we are going to review the financial recovery plan. How are you going to do it to ensure that whatever you are reviewing will yield a positive result in terms of the financial status of the city? My last question is around also okay. I can't read my handwriting. The actual revenue reflects an unfavorable variance of the 2.2 billion due to various issues. One of the issues is on service charges, especially on electricity, where we have under recovery, under collection of about 2 billion. And the reason they've raised various reasons there. One of the reasons is that there is, because of negligence and theft, meter tampering, and high estimation of 25% and non-technical losses. I just wanted to find out which of these reasons that you have raised is the highest contributory,
And how are you going to do to ensure that you address the situation? Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Councillor Bushelo. Councillor Dube.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to touch base on what our colleague, Councillor Bushelo, said with regards to the legal connections and the meter audits and the removal of illegal connections. How far has the department gone with consequence management and actually following up on disconnections and the illegal connections? Then secondly, I note on 1.3, underspending on expenditure, an amount of 3.4 billion. Can I please abbreviate what this underspending was? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dube. Over to you, CFO.
Chair, thank you. Greetings to yourself, members of MPAC and our colleagues. I think let's start with the M-score related question. Chair, I think we can confirm that our migration to S4HANA it does incorporate an M-score compliance system. I think what the city has been clear on is that the rollout has been phased in, taking into account the various costs imposed on rolling out the entire migration from ECC6 to S4HANA. Two components which are currently being migrated on a monthly basis, that involves revenue as well as payroll. All other components are on S4HANA, which has been deemed M-score compliant. We are in a position to upload strings automatically to National Treasury. This is evident through the fact that within the first quarter of the financial year, Treasury normally institute consequence management institutions who fail to submit strings on time. City of Tshwane has not been one of those institutions. This is amongst I think this is evident to the fact that our system is M-score compliant and we're able to unbundle both revenue and payroll components in line with the 7 segments of M-score. Until a point in time that we will be migrating those two components, we'll have to migrate them consistently in order to ensure seamless integration. I think for us is to ensure that the migration is done timelessly and we keep a set of credible data and we're able to account for the movement on the old ECC6 to S4HANA. So we are confident that our system is M-score compliant. It is evident, taking into account that there has been no consequence management in the city. We've received all conditional grants as depicted in the division of revenue. Credibility of our data, I think we can confirm that the data that we're presenting is credible. There are variances that we deal with on a month-on-month basis, but at year-end, subsequent to full 12 months, we of course conduct a full year-end process wherein we ensure incorporation of all data, which is normally catered for in the upcoming months. So, reference this financially as well, we had a hard close on our financial statements where all data incorporated on 11-month and 12 months, so we are confident that the data that we are presenting is credible in nature. I think this was also part and parcel of assisting us to ensure the submission of our financial statements on time due to the credibility of the data the city has. Revenue collection, there's a number of initiatives that the city is currently employing. Over and above this, I think we have established RTTA, which we normally call as a Rebuilding Tax Administration Committee, which purely deals with ensuring institutional and technical arrangements on collection of our revenue, as well as implementation of credit control and debt collection processes. Over and above this, initiatives including issuing timelessly final notice of demand, Section 129 notices, as well as incorporating outbound call center and robo-dial activities to ensure that we don't only deal with high-value accounts, but we touch the entire spectrum of the debt book that's due to the city. So we have seen significant improvement on that basis. Physically, from a collection perspective, for the previous 2 months, the city has been in a position to surpass 3.5 billion rand as a result of actual cash that the city is collecting in our bank account. This is evident that the initiatives that we're putting on board are yielding sufficient results, and we'll start seeing a reduction in the debt book moving forward. Remember, in us dealing with the debt book, we categorize all accounts accordingly, not only by service type, but by business type as well. We allocate dedicated service managers or account managers who will deal with embassies, for argument's sake, government accounts, where we ensure the state bill is issued on the first month of July. We then monitor payments of this moving throughout the financial year. Chair, you will take note that our PMO is sufficiently up and running. the value chains are effective, it's seamless and streamlined accordingly, which helps us to improve the turnaround time, not only of ensuring that the implementation of credit control initiatives, but also of ensuring that once clients come on board and pay, there's a quicker turnaround time in terms of responding to disconnections that are put on board. Twanyatima is a rapid response unit, which is still kept on board. It is rapid in nature that we allocate high value accounts which are still disconnected from that process. It is yielding positive results. And I think it's a layer that picks up from what we've set up on the PMO as well. These are complementary in nature, and they do similar functions with a focus point on institutional, meaning all other accounts, which is the PMO's function, and rapid response in nature, high-value accounts, that will be Twanyaatima's work. So I think the performance from a service charge perspective as well, we take note that the report that we're presenting here is as at the end of May, so this is 11 months of the financial year. So we are expecting not to have completed for the full 12 months, hence the variance that's been put on board. But I think subsequent to that, we've been able to declare surplus as a result of the savings that we have as well on an expenditure perspective, which then sort of balances out. But I think, Chair, we are confident that the systems that we put on board in terms of ensuring that all clients are billed accordingly and we reduce the number of estimations that we have on our accounts will help us bridge the gap and ensure that what we estimated to bill and plan for as per the budget is what we're billing from an actual perspective, which then will give us an opportunity to collect and realize that cash accordingly. Lastly, in terms of the review of the FRP, I think taking into account that the FRP was developed at a point in time where the city was in significant deficit, significant progress has been made. Yes, we are not yet out of the woods, but I think a review in terms of aligning to new systems that we put on board, a review in terms of aligning to beefing up the technical implementations that we see the results from the institutional arrangements of the FRP is essential. FRP was purely put on board to build systems, put internal controls in place, ensure that the institution is functional from an institutional perspective. We're now moving forward to the second phase, which involves the technical turnaround, so we are able to see physical results thereof. I think that's mainly the purpose of the review of the FRP. And then illegal connections, that's something that's currently coming on board. We have, through RTTA, we are picking up that there are second and third, even fourth tempers in some instances. This is the internal controls that are put in place by Energy and Electricity to ensure follow-ups in the event that there's no responses from individuals who are turned off or illegal connections that are removed swiftly. So, Chair, I think we're confident that over and above the results that we're presenting here, what gives us comfort is that we are declaring surpluses on a month-on-month basis. This gives an indication that from a trading perspective, we're able to meet our obligations. Yes, we still need to ensure that we deal with the arrears that the city has carried over from previous financial years, but the turnaround is on board, and we're confident that with the results that we've been performing, we should see an increase in the current ratio, liquidity ratios, which will then give an ultimate impact on the entire city's credit rating and all other strategic operations that we have. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Mabusela.
No, thanks, Chair, and thanks for the response. In what the two previous colleagues has indicated, and the response that we are getting from the CFO, all those issues that they raised have been repeated in various reports. In the annual report that we dealt with, it was issue of Safar. The in-year-end report is the same issue that is being raised. Service delivery implementation, still the issue. But what we don't hear in the report is that how the issue is going to be addressed. For instance, there is a functionality in the SAP4HANA called embedded analytics. Embedded analytics is utilized to extract financial data, particularly for the reporting of Section 71 reports. But that functionality, Chairperson, it was tested, and the CFO can attest to that. It was tested, but found that it still cannot even extract the information as required, particularly financial information. And therefore, Chairperson, my question is that in these circumstances, where we are found with the problem, where embedded analytics system can't even do the work, Do we have alternative? And if we don't have alternative, then which another analytics are we using? And can we have a time frame, perhaps, Chairperson, as to how, when are these issues are intended to be resolved? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mabusela. Just before they respond, I'll note you, Karawa, as well. We are going to get a presentation from the department with today, actually after this meeting, on SEP for HANA. So maybe you'll get more detail in